Hello, welcome to this. So, I love tag videos because they're just lists, and I love a list of anything. And I thought it was appropriate to do this tag, which is the coffee book tag, because it is 1:50 a.m. and I'm still awake because I had coffee at like 7 this evening. So, here we are. The first tag, or the first question, Black Coffee, a series that is tough to get into but has hardcore fans. For this one, I chose the Shatter Me series. I have read, and I have the first 3 books in this trilogy. I think it's technically not a trilogy anymore, because I know there's more books. I don't know how many more books there are, but I read the first 3. The first one was but I decided to read the second and third one. They were painful to get through. I was annoyed throughout the whole time. So here we are. The Shatter Me series. So many people love this, and they love the couple that emerges from this, and I don't get it. I want to get it. I want to ship a couple, but I don't get it. Second one, Peppermint Mocha, a book that gets more popular during the festive season. The first one that came to mind is Harry Potter, The Lost Files of Harry Potter, because we don't know who the author is. So that's an answer. But another one that came to mind was The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe by C.S. Lewis. I don't have a copy of it. I used to have a copy, but I got rid of it without even reading it. I think it's because I'm assuming the book also starts off this way, with Lucy going into Narnia, and it's a winter wonderland in there. Hot Chocolate, a favorite childhood book. Fun fact, I didn't like to read when I was younger. I didn't start liking to read until like 3rd grade, which I guess to most people that's still young. But whenever I think of like childhood, I think of like, when people first start to read, they're always just like, my first book was Luna and the Moon. Is that the title? I'm not sure. So I don't really have any childhood favorites that I can think of. Books that I remember reading as part of a class in like elementary schools, books like Frindle. I read that. That was nice. Fun fact, my class was putting on a play for it, and I was playing the teacher, and I was very excited, but then it got canceled because my class can't behave, and I cried. That was the end of my acting career. So Frindle, I don't know the title, or I don't know the author. Another book that I really like was like Maniac McGee. Again, I don't know who the author is. And then there's a boy in the girl's bathroom. I think that was Lewis Akara. Oh, hold. There you go. What a long-winded. Can you tell I've had coffee and that it's late into the evening? There's my answer. Hold. Oh God. Okay, next one. Double shot of espresso. That's what I'm on right now. Double Shot of Espresso, a book that kept you on the edge of your seat from start to finish. I had to think about this one because I don't read suspenseful books. And then I remember this, Bad Girls Don't Die by Katie Allender. I read this back when it first, actually no, I read this back before it even came out because my friend's mom or her aunt was a librarian, so she got an ARC. And I remember thinking like, wow, it's not even published yet. I get to read it. What a privilege. So I read it, loved it. And then many years later, when I started watching BookTube, the word ARC gets thrown around a lot. So I remembered this. So I bought it, and it's 2nd and 3rd book. Read it, loved it. To be fair, I haven't read it in a long time, so I don't know if it still holds up. but it was great. This is a paranormal story. This girl's sister starts acting like she's possessed. Yes, her sister is possessed, and I was actually pretty scared when I read this. Starbucks, a book you see everywhere. Six of Crows, A Darker Shade of Magic, Akatar, books that I all own and all have read. Lately, I've been seeing a lot of Jade City, Poppy War. Two books that I want to read, but I hesitate to read because, one, they're dense. They're chunky books, so I don't want to put myself through that. But also, I'm afraid, not really afraid, but I have a feeling I won't like them. I'm realizing that I'm not a big fan of political, military heavy books, which those two books are. So I might hold off on just reading those. That Hipster Coffee Shop, a book by an indie author. I actually don't have any like self-published books, but there is one that showed up on my Facebook feed timeline. I think it's a feed. Oh god, I saw it on Facebook, and it's called Roaring, and it's about, I think it's set in the 20s. I think the tagline is like, what if mobsters ran with monsters? I'm interested. Oops, I accidentally got decaf. The book you're expecting more from. A recent one that I read. We Set the Dark on Fire by Taylor K. Mejia. I was very underwhelmed. So it's about this girl. I haven't been explaining what the books are about. Whoops. It's about this girl. She attends a school where the girls are assigned to two roles, and after that they graduate, they get married off along with one other girl, so they're two wives of the men. And our main girl, Danielle, I don't even remember her name. Yes, Daniela. She becomes part of the revolution because the man that she's married to is up there. His family is like very high ranked. And like, as somebody who's becoming part of the revolution, I thought we were gonna be like action, 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 but it wasn't. Her role in the revolution is just overhearing things. There's also a romance that came out of nowhere, and I was just like, oh, I guess we're doing that. I wish the romance would have just been like built up here and then actually happened in the second book. That could have been like such a good it would have been a good opportunity for yearning. More yearning. That's always needed. The Perfect Blend, a book or series that was both bitter and sweet, but ultimately satisfying. For this one, I chose the Half Bad series by Sally Green. This book, I remember I kept seeing it back in the day of BookTube. People would show it in their book hauls. I'm assuming that was when it was first released, and then people never talked about it again. I never saw the second or third book. I didn't even see people like talk about this in like the wrap-ups or anything. So I'm assuming it's not popular. And to be quite honest, I can see why. Because after this book, I was just like, oh, it's okay. But I decided to get the second and third book because I got lucky and I saw them in the same hardcover editions. So I continued reading, and it got better. The second and third book, way better than this, because this is just... The second and third book is way better than this. The third book, I haven't thought about this in a while, and now I'm sad thinking about what happened in the third book. I remember staying up until like 3 reading it, and I was just sad. Why? Why do bad things happen to good people? What was the question? Bitter and sweet, but ultimately satisfying. Oh. I wouldn't say the ending for this series is satisfying, but it was bitter and sweet. Sad times. Green Tea, a book or series that is quietly beautiful. For this one, I chose 2 books, both by the same author, and that is Blanca y Roja and When the Moon Was Ours by Anna Marie Michelmore. These 2 books are just beautiful. Just read it. Nothing I say here can convey how beautiful these 2 books are. I especially like, which one do I like better? Which one has more tabs? I think When the Moon Was Ours ranks slightly higher, but both are just wonderful. I love these 2 books. Chai Latte, a book or series that makes you dream of far-off places. I originally was gonna pick Miss Peregrine's Home of Killer Children, but I don't think that's very whimsical. To be honest, I don't read a lot of whimsical books. Maybe I should. Recently I read the first book in the Wayward Children series. What is it called? There you go. I remember what it's called, but the first book in the Wayward Children series is about children who happen to find like doors to other worlds, and each door leads, there's several doors, and like each world is basically just like nonsensical, and there's another world called like high logic, and so most of the time people stay there, but whenever people get out of those worlds, obviously they can't really function back in normal society, so their parents think they're crazy, so they send them to this home where the lady's like, yes, I will take care of your children, I will fix them. But then once the lady there's like, what world did you go into? Earl Grey, favorite classic. My favorite classic is Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen, because I'm basic. I just have very fond memories of reading this exact copy in like 6th grade, and not really fully understanding what I read, but I was proud of myself for, you know, getting through it anyway. So there you are. It's now 2 o'clock. It's past 2 o'clock. I should go to sleep, but I still have a lot of energy. I hope you enjoyed this badly lit video.